This time on Our Chateau Life, more about my days as a royal photographer. Claire hangs out in the stables and discovers some potions in the gardener's house. But more importantly, acquires a new teacup, a collection of old shutters, doors and a fruit rack. You'll see the wine press in the cellar. Many more treasures now kept in the chapel. And our sad, broken barn.
Ooh, and this is the stable.
Oh!
Who said that? Oh, you!
Just hanging out in the stables.
Just hanging out.
What to do? Pretending to be a horse. There we go.
Look at that. That's wonderful.
It's lovely, but it's more disaster. I mean, look at this.
Oh, I know.
And this is underneath one of the big towers. And I think you can see all the way to the sky through there.
Yeah.
When you are feeling close to me and you tell me you care,
This,
you know.
I'm pretty sure this was the tack room. They've got these wonderful, really, really beautiful, I don't know, you'd call them sort of like hangers for saddle, tack,
Bits and bobs.
bits and bobs. I can see us pulling these out of here and using them somewhere. For some reason in my head, I just think they'd look great in the kitchen.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We can clean them up.
So you want to see the shape of them. You know, this shape is really a beautiful curve on it like that, and then a little hook. Yeah. Again, oh my goodness, you can see all the way up there. You can see how the roof and has collapsed. Just such a shame. Oh God, I'd just love to put this all right. But we already have such a list of things to do.
Bit of a job.
Broken down staircase, which I'm not climbing up.
No.
And then in here, well, here, you know, you get a perfect view of the wreck that's up there.
Lovely. Skylight. Very open, lots of natural light in here. Good ventilation.
Hey, you suddenly become an estate agent.
Lovely colour on the walls, you know, I've been talking about a posh green.
Yeah. So that's the top floor where we found all the books and the various bits of clothing and the naughty book, which I'm very much enjoying, the idea of reading.
So, the other building, which mirrors this one. So we've been told that this section here, somebody said that this was the gardener's house. So we'll start here. As you can see, again, it's not quite livable.
Well, I don't know where you've lived. I mean, there was a student accommodations like this, but
the fireplace is really lovely.
yeah, that really is ancient. I guess peasants' fireplace, because they would cook over it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, very, very simple.
Is there anything in that cupboard there?
I don't think so. And I guess they would have kept their food in here because it's got mesh on it.
Yeah.
Keep the bugs out. Oh, there's some bottles up on the top shelf there.
Ooh, bottles. Oh, we have to get the bottles down.
Okay. Oh, that's revolting. That is revolting.
What are they?
I don't know. Still got a stopper in it though.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. No label, no nothing?
No label on that one. Hang on, there's more up there.
Okay.
That one. Okay, that's got a label on it.
Oh, cool.
The syrup tinadun?
Take the top off and smell it?
Constitute in medicine de... I don't know. Oh. Yes, that's potent.
What does it smell of?
Just smells of like Oh no.
Smelling salts, huh?
Ugh. Okay. New coffee cup?
I don't drink that much coffee.
I drink that much tea, but not out.
Oh, tea! Perfect.
Do you think that's a chamber pot? That's a chamber pot, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, now wash your hands.
Ew. These stairs are a bit better than the other ones.
Oh, Margaux, you're going... Oh,
Oh no. Oh, is that a good idea? Ooh.
She's done this before. And that's
No, she's stuck. Come on. I don't think this is a good idea.
Did this before and then didn't want to come down.
Okay, come on.
Margaux, come on, Danny.
Come on. There you go.
Yeah, I'd stay
think-
there if I were
Margaux,
you.
no.
No, and then she wants a good run at it. There you go, you see.
Oh.
Okay, after you.
Oh, Margaux.
Right. Oh, Mimi. Come on, Mimi.
Okay, so since we were last in here, the ceiling has collapsed, which is interesting. I guess it's one less job to pull it down. It's fallen down.
Yeah.
And there's loads of furniture here, like old chairs and things.
Oh,
But they're
gosh, it's
just,
such
they're
a shame.
rotten. They're completely rotten. They're just such a shame because they're nice. Although I suppose these ones you could probably...
Yeah, I'm sure we could do something with those. I love the, the rounded
Yeah,
top one there.
that's really nice.
Because I pulled one down, I put it downstairs. I'd love to clean up. It's
It's
a
not
really
too
pretty
bad.
chair.
Actually, it's not... it's a little bit woodwormy, but you can
Yeah.
treat that. And then these doors go through to the tower, but we can't get through because it's just completely rotten
Completely
out.
rotten.
Yeah.
Can get through, because you cleaned up with your brother, didn't you?
Yes, you can
So we
get
can
through.
get up the stairs, the external stairs.
Yeah. So we've never actually been through that way. You need to stay. Oh, don't like it. Yeah, so there's a staircase just behind, which goes up here, which I think pops out, would have popped out here
Yeah.
for this little room.
So this is, I think this is probably the most interesting room in here. Just be careful. There's loads in here. Oh, look, we've even got one of these from the tack room.
Oh, cool.
I didn't realize I'd forgotten we had another one of those. That's really nice. This, I'm not entirely sure where that would have gone. Oh, I guess it's probably a gate, the front gate probably.
Oh, yeah.
This
could
might
be
have
the
been on the top to try and stop those,
naughty people.
a little gate. Maybe this was a baby gate, bottom of the stairs. Who knows?
Oh, who knows?
Quite pretty, this. But the one thing that I really, really love, and I can't really show you because it's enormous, but this, this here is an old fruit rack. So I imagine that when they pick their apples and their pears, this would be sort of like a massive thing with shelves that would keep the fruit dry, and also obviously away from mice and rats and whatever. But I would love to put this back together again, but I have no idea how they got it up here.
Yeah.
I mean, there is actually nowhere.
Maybe they just built it up here.
Oh, probably. Yeah, they probably did. And so, right, okay, so these are definitely shutters.
Yeah.
I guess what distinguishes them is that the slats in the shutters are actually much closer together than the contemporary ones that we have.
And it's got a wider border as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're actually just so much nicer.
Yeah.
Just really, really, wouldn't it be great if you could actually copy these and replace the ones that we have? But here, So we have a we call it a wine press. It's a grape press, and this is what would have been stuck on the top of the press and would have been turned to press the grapes, make the grape juice that would eventually make the wine. I wonder if there ever was a Chateau de l'Auvergne wine. Who knows?
We could remake one.
We could remake one. We could call it Chateau Chirot.
Chateau Chirot.
I
You just want to design a pretty label, don't you?
want to design. Well, no, I want to drink the stuff as well, and
That might take a while.
might take a while. Yeah, unfortunately, this is cornicing from around the doors to the bedrooms. So most of them have been replaced, but these seem to be certainly the original ones. And they're nicely made, really nicely made.
Bits that I found, which makes me think, so these come from an old staircase, which makes me think that we used to have, instead of our big wooden staircase, that maybe we used to have a metal staircase, because those would have been on the spindles. Or maybe they came from somewhere else, who knows?
We've got a few of these in the cellar, and to my knowledge, these would be used for champagne bottles. So you would have them like another one here, and sort of in a pyramid shape, and they would put the bottles in, probably the other way around, and the bottles would sit like this. And champagne houses will have thousands of these. And as they're making the champagne, they will walk around and twist the bottles every so often to encourage the fermentation. Below the room that we've just seen with all the shutters is la cave, the cellar, which is not below the building. And so we've got grapes growing outside. But if they grow, if they keep growing, they can be quite delicious. And as discovered by Florence, my daughter, last year, we've got hops growing as well. So not only can we make wine, but we can make beer.
I have the key, the big key, for the very difficult door. If this works first time,
Oh, that was unlocked. That was a cod.
that was a miracle. That never opens.
Okay.
Hey, a minute, mind your head. Oh, it's so dark in here. So this is the wine press, or the grape press. So those wooden parts would have been around it like that to hold everything in. And then the big wheel would have been on top to turn it. I don't know if this... Oh, it does move. Oh, I didn't know that moved.
Oh, fabulous.
Cool. Blimey.
Oh, that's a big thing, isn't it?
That is a big thing. And then
but tell me about this. I've never really understood how that would work.
well, it
because
looks like the juice all pours down. There's a little hole here. It looks like it would pour into there. So maybe they would put buckets or something in there
okay.
to collect it all. So we've got these big wine barrels, which I'm guessing are original, which are great. They're still really solid. So I don't know, we'll do something with those. 2 of those. And the old wine racks as well. Don't know how old those are. So it's a great, we could fit a lot of wine in here if we wanted to. We don't own that much wine, but we could absolutely fill this space.
I shall begin my collection.
Yep.
Hi, darling.
It's a show and tell.
Yes, it is. So today...
We found. So these are all bits and pieces that we found in the outbuildings previously. We brought them in here to the chapel just to look after them so they don't get any more damaged. So, I don't know, do you want to find my favourite bits are these illustration magazines, which we looked at some of them up there that were really damaged, but these ones are in pretty good nick, actually. So they've got all the lovely adverts in, all the lovely pictures.
fantastic.
They're just gorgeous, aren't they?
And the advertising is second to none. I mean, toilet hygiene, zigzag, the best cigarette paper. Anyway.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's all fantastic. I think what's particularly lovely for us, both come from the sort of like photographic world, is that there are some really lovely, well, it's not a particularly good example, black and whites in here, because we're both freaks when it comes to black and white. Oh, look at that!
Great.
Look at that! The Colonel of the Olga Hussards.
What's the date on these?
1913, 30th of August 1913.
We've also got these, which we found. Now these, I think they either go on top of doorways or cupboards.
Or, yeah, armoire, I think, aren't they?
Oh, what are they called? Fronton. They
Fronton, yeah.
Twiddly bits, as I call them.
Fronton. It's like up here.
Twiddly. Le twiddly.
All right. Le twiddle.
Le twiddly bit.
Oui.
We've got a couple of twiddly bits, which I don't know. I mean, don't know where they're going to go yet, but we'll think of it. And this, we were watching Downton Abbey the other night, and Lady Cora.
No, that's not old.
That's not old. But they were giving her breakfast in bed.
Yeah,
on one of these.
Well, are you trying to tell me something?
Yes, darling. I would like.
Can't remember the last time I brought you tea in bed.
Tea in bed on my little tea tray.
Yeah,
Lovely.
it's pretty, isn't it?
It's
It needs
nice.
a bit of a clean, but
Yeah,
hey.
well, that's, it does everything.
And we've got the French translation of Hamlet,
Oh, that would be a challenge.
which would be very good. Yeah, we have to find that famous. Anyway,
Oh, and we found these fabulous umbrellas. These are just amazing.
my favourite. These are.
They are so Mary Poppins.
Yeah, look! I just tried to open it and I can't. It needs oiling. But look at the handle.
Gorgeous, aren't they?
It's definitely it's Julie Andrews, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what she flies in on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's completely, and I don't know about you, but I mean the number of umbrellas that I've been through in my life that fall apart after about 10 uses. I mean, these probably date back to 1900s, probably.
Yeah, and they're still
They're still in one piece,
amazing.
which is fantastic,
Amazing.
really.
We found some pictures as well. So, no idea who this chap is. But it's a nice picture.
Which one's that one?
This one.
Well, when we had, so we had the son of the Baron, who used to own this place, and we showed him around. It was actually sort of like the first time he'd been back in the chateau since he was a child, yeah. And he was quite moved by being back in the chateau because the previous owners had been here for over 20 years and had never invited them in. And he came up with memories of playing in the vestibule, which is the hallway, and that they weren't allowed in the salon. And I'm sorry about the animals. It's
Really, we live in a zoo.
It's definitely a menagerie.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I can remember him looking at this picture. I mean, he had no idea who it was. However, he did recognise traits, sort of like family traits. It was sort of like quite the heavy eyebrows, which was quite interesting, really.
It's interesting. There's a coat of arms on the frame.
Oh,
as
yes,
well,
there is.
But
I think that's the étoile, isn't it? Must be the étoile. An étoile, directly translated, would be star, which was the name of the family that owned both this chateau and our neighbours, Sussedier. And
well, one of them from there married one from here.
that's right.
So yeah, it'd be really lovely to find out who this actually is. Maybe
Yeah, I
we'll do
mean,
some
I
research.
think the closest you're going to get is to finding that, well, that he was a member of the Rochefort family. That's about it. Unless we pull it out and we find that there's a name written on the back. which is always a possibility.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see. Same, it's very, very pretty. I don't know you're not going to be able to see, but it's a man holding a baby in, I guess, what you'd say very late 19th century clobber, really, isn't it? And actually a really nice frame. It's cleaned up. It has almost a feel of ebony in a way. And they've used some old magazine paper to seal the back, because you can see some printing on the back. That's quite fun. Actually, well, that's broken, isn't it? But I mean, we do actually. There is a croquet set in the wood store that we could do cleaning up
and having a go with. Have a croquet tournament on the lawn.
Croquet tournament would be very nice with a cup of tea.
I have to look at the rules. I actually don't know how you play.
Well, you're not allowed to drink tea?
I don't know. No, you have to drink gin.
Okay, well, I'm game. So, nice basket here.
Full of bits, more books.
More books. Oh, really?
Oh, it's so sad. Yes.
Oh, this is dated 22nd of June, 1847.
I just found this little note in this one.
Oh, lovely. Oops. You see the treasures.
I cannot make out the handwriting.
I remember as a child being taught to write French, and you are taught to write in, is it script?
Where it's all joined up.
It's all joined up writing, but it is so incredibly precise in the way that you are taught. And constantly, when you see writing in French, as a rule, they have very, very beautiful handwriting, but they write incredibly, very incredibly small. And that one, that is absolutely, it's just minuscule. I mean, I know my eyesight's given up, but I mean, is your eyesight all right? No, you can't see anything. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, there you go. So that's our treasures so far. And here is the Grand Projet, what should be really a very, very beautiful barn is falling apart, which is heartbreaking. Hole in the roof. We got a company round to quote, and really quoting for replacing the beams that are all oak. And so they quoted just to replace the wood and not to replace it with oak, unfortunately. And they did all the drawings, they did all the work before they got here, so they really knew their stuff. But the quote were just floored us. The quote, to do just the wood, this is not replacing the tiles on the roof, it's just the wood. They quoted 100,000 euros, which is, I guess, about $100,000, 90,000 pounds.
Oh, it still makes me sort of laugh or cry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And what was pointed out at the time was that they could do all of that, but we would have to repair this wall because this wall is leaning out. So the wall would have to be repaired, and that's a stone wall, so that's another specialist job. So unfortunately, I just, I don't think this is going to happen. Up there are bits of furniture as well. We haven't been up there yet because the whole thing just feels so unsafe.
Yeah,
really.
I don't like even being in here.
I don't like being in here.
That could come down.
Okay. Well, there you go. So that's the barn.
The disaster barn.
That's the disaster barn, which, despite never, ever, ever wanting to destroy anything, this probably will have to come down. Okay, well, here's a prime example. Quick is a massive magazine in Germany. And there's one of my cover pictures of Diana. Not sure where that was. Charles playing polo, that is. As you can see, it's in the UK because there's an umbrella. Oh, look, that's me with the hair you talk about. Princess Anne, very interesting trip throughout Central America and South America. And having to get on that thing, which was entertaining, to say the least. Here, Life cover. No, it's such a shame. It's such a beautiful magazine, Life magazine, really dedicated to photography and the beauty of photography. And I've had a couple of covers on Life magazine. One was Diana, one was Charles. I'm really pleased about this. And Time magazine. This was the tour in Italy. And I was told about this when we got back to the UK, that I had the cover of Time magazine, and was invited to their offices in London, the Time Life building, and wasn't told, but they threw a party for me because I got the cover of Time magazine, which was quite extraordinary and very memorable. So I got lots of stuff here. Prince Charles falling off his pony at polo, where he broke his arm. That was pretty scary, actually. But that I was the only one to get that. Here, Princess Margaret with her children, Lord Linley and Sarah Armstrong-Jones in China. This was the arrival at Alice Springs in the Australia trip. And that's Prince William. Oh, this is Ascot. So this is when they walk out to Ascot. So they are Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, Duke of York, Princess Diana, Duchess of York, Queen Mum, Princess Margaret, and that was all in Oggi in Italy. And these famous dance pictures in Melbourne and Australia. It's extraordinary. I mean, he literally threw the poor woman around the room. So we were lucky to get any of these pictures sharp. But they were very popular. Anyway, New Zealand doing a hongi. Is it hongi? Yeah. Okay. And Bunte magazine was massive for me. I used to do a lot of work for Bunte magazine in Germany. And this is skiing, I think possibly in Lech in Austria. And I'm in here somewhere, in amongst all of us. What a throng, eh? Can you imagine? Wake you up in the morning. No, we wouldn't see that in the morning, would you?
Do you have a picture that you're most proud of?
Oh, you call me out. I haven't got it here. Oh, I might have it.
We can find it afterwards.
Yeah,
but...
yeah, I do. Actually, it is actually my favourite picture I've taken of her, and it was very early on. And the first royal tour that Charles and Diana did, and I realise that's a little bit too friendly, but we used to call them Charles and Diana, and was to Australia and to New Zealand. It was in 1983. And it was a phenomenally long trip. It was 6 weeks. So we did 4 weeks in Australia and 2 weeks in New Zealand. And this picture was in New Zealand. I think it was in Auckland, and it was by a boating lake. And it was chucking it down with rain. But the light was really beautiful. We call it like sort of the perfect light, Kodak grey. And she was under a brolly. And she just looked round, and it was almost like you got a soft filter on it, and she looked sensational. And I can just remember just going, here's the terminology, hosing it like this with the motor drive, and you know, I think there were about 2 or 3 in there that were absolutely spot on.
What are we going to do with all your pictures?
I don't know. I've got hundreds and thousands of them. Some of them are still sitting in an agency in Paris.
We've got loads in the loft.
Loads in the loft. There's probably about 60,000 in the loft.
What would you like to do with them? Would you like to do a book? Do you want to put some up here? Put some on the wall?
No, I don't want to put any on the wall. I'd quite like to put all my sort of like my covers from magazines framed on the wall somewhere, not down here, somewhere. You don't really show off about that, do you? And but just, I suppose it's part of your life, isn't it? I'd love to find something to do with these, because they feel, now they feel like they're historical in a way, and to be honest, they sort of value-wise, certainly in the way that I used to work for magazines and publications, there's very little, request for them now. So they sit here, and every single one sort of brings back a memory, which is amazing. And you think, well, I don't know if anybody can come up with an idea. I'm open to listening, but I do not want to edit it.
You can take them by the box load.
Yeah, you can take them by the box load. You can do the edit yourself. I'm not spending the rest of my life editing all this.
Okay, so all these amazing trips that you used to go on, how did they happen? How did you know what was going on?
So, as a rule, the palace would tell us about them, like the real official trips, usually probably about 3 or 4 months before they happened. And so that would allow us to book our flights in a relaxing manner. And they would tell us which hotels to stay in, because there'd be what they would call a press hotel. And every day there would be a press conference early in the morning or in the evening. And they would tell us what was happening in more detail the following day. On arrival, we would go and get accredited, which would mean getting all our press passes and all the rest of it, and proving who we were. They would give us, well, I'll tell you what, there you go. So here, a lot of people are really surprised to see this, but they would give us a media itinerary. And this is the level of detail that they would go into. So there'd be like little plans, and they tell us where we would be, and dates and times and who they were going to meet. Can you imagine how much work goes into preparing that? I mean, it's quite extraordinary. And this was from July 15th to the 9th of August, and that was visit to Canada. Oh, actually, this is by the Duke and Duchess of York. And here's another one, which was the state visit of the French Republic. So this is the President of the French Republic, and his wife, Madame Jacques Chirac. So this was in the UK. So this is all the stuff that they would give you. Oh, there's a little press pass there. And this is another state visit. But here you've got all of these. So when we were on tour, we would get given folders like this. So this is Charles and Diana visit to Saudi Arabia. It's got Saudi Arabia, and this one was Charles and Diana in Hong Kong before the handback of Hong Kong, handover to China of Hong Kong. And then you've got Spain. I mean, I've got loads of these. I'm only showing you a few. So this is the Queen's trip to China. Oh, and I have here a collector's item. So these are press passes. This is a press pass to the funeral of His Majesty King George VI.
You were there?
And King George V.
I didn't know you photographed that one.
There's no answer to that, is there, quite frankly? And this is very highly prized. So these are the funeral arrangements for Diana, the Princess of Wales, which I have to say really affected me very deeply when this happened. So this is the order of play from the day. Yeah, well, there you go. So
what do you remember about the day?
I remember about the day. It's funny because when I found out that she had passed away, I remember sitting in front of a computer and bursting into tears. We had 2 years between us in age, and I spent so long following her. I mean, she wasn't a friend by any means, but felt like, we'd been running sort of in parallel, very different lives, of course. but it really, really affected me. But when you're on the day, you become professional, and then your emotion just, you have to leave any kind of emotion. You can't be standing there trying to do pictures. I was in Westminster Abbey with tears running down your face. No, absolutely not. I got there the day before we were allowed in, the day before we were on a stand which looked straight down the aisle to the nave, and I marked out my position. And we would mark out our positions very, very carefully. And and I remember when and I put my name on it and everything on the floor. It was white tape and "Don't come near here, or else you'll die." And it was a very, very tight position for about 3 or 4 of us. And you had to be where I was in order to be able to see around a column that was just here. And when I got back the following morning, I was probably about 6 o'clock in the morning to take up position, and someone had taken my spot, and as quietly as one can in an abbey, we discussed it, and I got my position back. Thank you very much. Yeah, no fisticuffs were involved. Well, not many anyway. Okay,
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay updated. And be sure to join us for the next episode of Our Chateau Life. We've got plenty more exciting moments to share. See you there.